G'day everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing something similar to what I did for World of Warships, and I'm going to be running through what I believe the best modifications you should be running for World of Tanks in 2023. Now I'm going to run through Aslane's mod pack here, and the reason I suggest Aslane's is, as you can see, not only is it on the Wargaming mods portal, which means it is completely and 100% safe to use. Everything has been double checked and verified by Wargaming for people to happily use. But it has also got such an expansive choice of different options that you can essentially customize game to any and where you want to. I don't choose a lot of modifications for World of Tanks in comparison to, say, like the few extra ones I do for World of Warships, because Wargaming's actually done a fairly good job with World of Tanks and implemented a lot of the most popular mods straight into the game client. So there's only going to be, say, like maybe a few mods here that I'm going to run through, but I think they're very, very crucial, especially with some stuff that's come out in the last couple of days. But we'll get into that right in a second. Once you go to this page here on the wargamingmods.net, you're going to hit download mod. You're going to make sure it's for the correct version. It should automatically be selected for the latest version that is available. Select download mod. It should download now. And well, once that's downloaded, we'll just run through the setup very quickly. Once you've downloaded the installation file, you're just going to go ahead here. And once you're at the select setup language screen, obviously just check the correct language you want. In my case, I want this to be in English, so I'm going to hit OK. Once you're at this screen here, I want you to go down to the bottom left and select show preview window. Now this is really quite an important step, because what it'll do is it'll show you a little preview of what the mod will hopefully do on the right hand side of your screen. Click next. This just gives you a bit of the introduction legality. Tells you the latest versions here. Once you hit next, make sure you're selecting the correct folder for where you're installing it and the correct game client. So for example, I play on the World of Tanks Asia server, so I want this to say World of Tanks Asia. I don't want it to say Common Test or anything like that, because that's not going to be the correct version. If you play on, say, World of Tanks EU, you want to go and make sure it says World of Tanks EU, for example. Once that's correct, select next, and we're going to go here into the Aslanes. Now, personally, I don't really run XVM. I don't see too much benefit from it, in my opinion. But if you want to use that, go right ahead. That is completely up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down until we get to the non-XVM section here. And what that's going to entail is, if we keep scrolling, we're going to go down to PMod section here. And just something for people that like doing replays or making cool screenshots. I like this one that says enable free cam in replays, and that just allows me to get different angles, different kind of cool looking screenshots for when I'm creating content. Regardless, just going to quickly move on, scrolling all the way down through here, and we're going to go down to the aim helping mods. We're going to go on this one here, and this is the fixed reticle size. This one is come out in the last couple of days, and it is hugely beneficial to be running. Now, Jack Attacker made a fantastic post on the World of Tanks subreddit regarding this, and Ayushin also made a video about this already. But essentially, the aiming circle that we have in game is much larger than where the shots actually go. So what that does is it reduces the aiming circle to where the shots will actually go within your aiming circle. And it does make quite a huge difference. So as you can see in the screenshot off to the right hand side here, you can see what the original aiming circle looks like and how large that is compared to where your shots will actually go with the aiming circle on the right hand side. Hugely beneficial in my opinion, and I think people should honestly be running this one if they can afford to do so. I like this mod down here, the aiming timer. It's not super crucial to be running, but it just gives you a bit of an indication as to how much you're got to sit there and wait for your gun to be, say, fully aimed or 90% aimed or something like that. Can be useful, not hugely so, but I just like having it there on the side of my screen. Going down, I do love this gun marks. Going down, I do love this mark of excellence calculator, and this one here is a very clean, very simplified version of what your mark of excellence and the requirements are for them, and it just looks fantastic, and it gives you all the information you do need when you're trying to aim for those marks of excellence, whether it be 1, 2, 3, for example. Fantastic mod. If you are pushing for those mark of excellence, I highly recommend you do pick up this modification. Scrolling down, I'm going to suggest people also run this Sixth Sense timer. Now, what that means is that in this sense, I've got an animated icon, and from the second you get spotted, so say you get detected, and you know how your Sixth Sense goes off and it only lasts like 1 to 2 seconds on the screen. In this scenario here, it's going to be an animated timer, and it's going to count down from 10 seconds. Why is 10 seconds important from the moment your Sixth Sense goes off? What that in essence actually means is, well, as soon as you get spotted, there's a 10-second window between when you were last spotted to when you will go undetected, and that's the base value in the game, disregarding crew skills. Now, when your Sixth Sense timer goes off, there's normally like a 2 to 3 second delay as it is. So when your Sixth Sense timer goes off and you stop being immediately hard spotted by another enemy vehicle, you'll have 10 seconds before you go completely dark. I like to have this indication on the screen, just so I have a bit of a visual reference as to when I can, say, push back up into a bush, maybe look to relocate my tank. I think it's really quite important if you don't have that, say, exact timing of when you were last spotted. So it is something that's fairly useful to actually have. Other than that, all of these different settings here are pretty much purely customizable and affect only the UI of the game. If you do want to have some of them, like say this one here, for example, the extended friends and blacklist, because there is a hard limit in the game, more than welcome to do so. Battle hits is another really quite nice one I think people should be running. And what battle hits is, in essence, is it will show you like not only your shots against enemy vehicles, but shots that you may have received as well. So if you're wondering how on earth like you might have been penned in this weird scenario, you can take a look and see what the game client actually recorded happen. Or you're wondering just how on earth did you manage to bounce that shot from said vehicle, you can just take a look and see where the shot actually went. It can be really quite a useful one. It is quite large though, but it is highly recommended if you're wanting to work out just those little different things. Replay manager if you want to quickly like flick between replays and just see what you want. Other than that, you can look for some of these armor inspectors if you want to. I recommend just using Tanks GG because A, they're a lot more well detailed. It's easy to view on the web. Much better, I think, a version compared to these in-game ones. And other than that, I don't think there's really a huge amount else that I highly recommend people to use. All these mods here, there's obviously a lot that I haven't covered, but if you want to go ahead and play around with these modifications, I highly recommend people do so. But yeah, other than that, I hope people have got something out of this. I hope it's been kind of worth it. And yeah, thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope people did get something important out of this, and that's all I've really got to say. Thanks everyone, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Peace all.